And we'll get our acceleration here. Again, two-wheel drive. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we'll be reviewing the all-new Chevy Traverse High Country. First and foremost, though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Chevy here in Murray for giving me some time with this Traverse. This one is available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. I also want to mention that they happen to have quite a few new body style Silverados on the ground that are also available for sale, so if you're interested in one of those, also reach out to them. Link in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 17 around town and then 25 on the highway, with power outputs being 310 horsepower at 6,800 RPMs and then 266 pound-feet of torque at 2,800 RPMs. Let's go over the front end of the Traverse High Country. So first off, I love this particular paint color. It looks fantastic. Again, look how dynamic that is in the light. But we've got our daytime running lights here at the top, and you can see the headlight down below with another daytime running light. Notice how that kind of connects to this silver trim piece, which looks really good. And notice how that trim piece connects into the grille that goes to the Chevy bow tie. There is a little camera there at the bottom of the bow tie. And overall, I think it's actually a really good looking vehicle. This is one of the few crossovers with a split light design that I think actually it works. Going over the tire and wheel setup is 255, 55, 20 in the front and over in the rear as well. And heads up, sorry about my shadow, it's just the time of day that it is. But you guys can see here with the design, you got the silver there on the top and then the metallic gray just below that. And then notice here with the fender flare how that's body painted. High Country logo there on the side, and then look at the silver trim here at the bottom, and then also with the door handles and the window trim as well. And once you see the whole Traverse and not my shadow, you kind of see it all just like comes together, and again, it looks really good. Here's the key fob for the Traverse. You got the Chevy bow tie there on the back. We have our unlock lock function remote start, and then the opening here for the hatch. So press that a couple times, and bada bing, bada boom. It'll pop right open. Now first off, you notice here with these seats how you can raise and lower them. So for example, we can do the left one. And well, it's blocked by the second row. But anyways, then I can raise it back up if I want. So cool feature that you have right there. And then we've got some storage space underneath. And aside from that, that's all for the trunk area. And let's just finish up with the rest of the rear. So I really like the taillights on the Traverse. I think they've done a great job with the styling there. Notice more chrome here, and then you've got cameras just below the Chevy bow tie, and then again another Traverse all-wheel drive badge. More chrome trim down below. And you can see the covers over the exhaust tips to kind of go with the boxier theme here. And then also look at that, even the roof rails have silver on them. Anyways, there's the back. Here's our door panel in the rear. Notice with all of the padding, and I love the suede insert right there. That looks really nice. And then down below. And then here are the seats. So notice perforated there in the center portion of the seats. And it's not really popping up in the camera very well. You can kind of see the coloration on the piping. Really cool. But let's pop in. Legroom. Solid with the headroom. Notice got a storage pocket right there. We do have vents here at the top, and we have our own sunroof here at the top as well. That is pretty nifty. And down below we've got our own climate controls here, heated seats for the back, and then charging ports down below. And then as for the third row, you can fit adults back there. You guys can see legroom is a little bit more on the cramped side of things, pretty typical with this segment of crossover. And then headroom's actually really good in the back, but I would reserve that for kids over the long trips, basically. Anyways, let's head to the front. Now here is the front door panel. So again, same thing with the padding and then the suede insert down below, and then where you're going to rest your arm. Memory seats, we've got all of our window controls here. The mirrors do power fold in. They also have blind spot monitoring. And then here's a quick look at this to set the hatch height or just open it up. And then notice with the speaker for the Bose sound system, Chevrolet logo right there. Payload capacity is pretty solid, 1,453 pounds. No slouch. And then here's the other little sticker for the gross vehicle weight rating. Anyways, front seat says High Country on it with the headrest. Perforated all down the center, has that same fun design with the piping. And then you can see with the center portion. Power adjustments on the side, and then pretty normal pedal layout. You got hood latch release right there. Light controls right here. Steering wheel is power adjustable. Let's pop in.
Against BYU.
Here is the steering wheel for the Traverse. Really nice padding all around, and then you can see the contrasted stitching on the center portion. We do have radio controls there on the back. Controls to the center stack, voice command, phone controls. Cruise control over here on this side with our heated steering wheel button. Turn signal stock, and then we have our windshield wiper stock, and there's the steering wheel. Here's the center gauge cluster. You can see you've got analog gauges on either side, but then you have the screen there in the center, and they kind of bleed together, which is very interesting. But we can scroll through different menus here with the center gauge cluster, see different bits of info on the Traverse and different systems with it. Pretty straightforward setup. Most modern vehicles have something like that. Now we do have some different modes we can go into. So we have an all-wheel drive mode, and then we have an off-road mode, and last but not least, we have a tow mode. And then the main mode is a two-wheel drive mode, if you guys are wondering. Now here's the center infotainment screen. First off, if we pop it into reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. And look at this! It's accurate because we have the two sunroofs in this. Anyways, you can see here with the different viewpoints with the camera system, it shows you every single angle with the Traverse. I'm a huge fan of Chevy's camera systems. I think they do a really good job with them. Now, moving from that to the rest of the infotainment screen, response time's great. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You've got this shortcut bar here at the bottom that helps out. And you've got like another one right there. But the cool party trick of the Traverse is the fact you got secret storage. Well, not so secret because like that button's right there, but at the same time, I don't know. It's kind of a cool feature. So down below we have heated and cooled seats, and they get their own separate buttons right around the dual zone climate controls. And then we've got our charging ports down below with the USBs, and we have a wireless phone charging pad. Shifter for that 9-speed automatic transmission. It does have a manual shift function there on the side. There's like plus and minus buttons. And then we have our parking brake right here. This is our drive mode select that we went over just a little bit ago. Lane departure, auto stop start in that area, and then you can see like the whole cup holder section. Pretty normal center console, frankly. It's got like this tray that you can pull out if you want. But I like to call this like the wallet tray because that's usually what I put in there. And then we've got nice padding here on the dash. And then pretty normal glove box. We have the camera mirror, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of that from a safety tech perspective. And then you can see the sunroof, pretty bright. So I'm guessing this one's for the... So the rear one's an automated shade, it looks like. That's interesting. So this one's not, but the rear one is. Anyways, other controls for the sunroof, and that's all for the top. Here's our window sticker for this 2023 Traverse High Country. So you guys can see here at the warranty information, 3-year 36,000 mile bumper to bumper, and then a 5-year 60,000 mile on the powertrain. And base MSRP there, $53,900. And in terms of options, you just have the color as an option. Everything else is standard. $55,790 is the total MSRP. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, about the rest of the rear, and let's set off. So, setting off here in the Traverse High Country, and believe it or not, I reviewed a bunch of Traverses. I have never reviewed a High Country Traverse before. I'm pretty sure. Someone's gonna be like, but Ben, I found a video, and I'm gonna be like, crap. But anyways, I don't think I have, and so this is actually exciting for me because it's cool to see like the fully loaded package on any car. And the thing I think is interesting is all of the like suede throughout with this. Like there's even some here, and like just above the glove box. It's like they've thrown it like everywhere that they can, which is interesting. But from a ride quality perspective, and it looks like they're redoing parts of the road here. It's actually really smooth. Yeah, it's smooth. It's comfortable, quiet as well. Like cabin insulation overall, solid. And again, I'm just in the 2-wheel drive mode, which is what you'll drive it in most of the time, because it is going to get better fuel economy in this 2-wheel drive mode versus the all-wheel drive mode. Seat comfort's really good too, actually. And the air conditioned seat function, man, that is definitely something that I am appreciative of right now. And overall, I like this. I like this interior. I'm still trying to figure out the whole like suede insert thing. I guess that means luxury now with Chevy. It used to be just like full-on leather everything, but I guess we get some suede now. So we are going over the train tracks, and this will also kind of show us on the suspension a bit. Plop plop. Yeah, pretty good. And we'll get our acceleration here. Again, two-wheel drive. V6 is good. You do get a little bit of torque steer. I'm guessing if I put it in the all-wheel drive mode. Let's see here. Yeah, it completely goes away. It's not a grip issue whatsoever. You just get a little tug on the steering wheel, which, yeah, I'm okay with getting a little tug on the steering wheel to get better fuel economy. I think that is definitely a big plus. But let's sum things up here with the Traverse High Country. So first off, in terms of the exterior styling, I think this actually looks really good. I'm usually not a fan of chrome on vehicles because I just like sportier looking packages. Like, I'm typically like an RS type of person, right, in terms of exterior packages on Chevy. But this High Country on the Traverse looks really good. I really like it. Like, I don't know, it just works. And then interior, same thing. It's a nice feeling interior. And by the way, if you hear any like jiggling, that's my tripod. That's not the car. There's no creaks with this car. Just got to mention that because this tripod's very noisy and obnoxious, but it's good for thumbnails. Ride quality's good, and you know, gas mileage with this car, you know, with the EPA ratings, it's solid. Like, there's nothing I can knock this for. It's not like crazy out there with anything. It doesn't like do anything groundbreaking. It's just a good looking crossover with a solid powertrain, good fuel economy, and I think the price is pretty reasonable considering the segment. You know, fully loaded Hyundai Palisade, Jeep Grand Cherokee, well, Jeep Grand Cherokee L fully loaded gets way more expensive than this. But, you know, Hyundai Palisade, for example, fully loaded, pretty similar price point. So yeah, I think that this is right where it needs to be. And so let me know what you guys think about the new Traverse High Country, but I think this thing's pretty cool. The one thing I will say, Chevy, if you're watching this, which you probably aren't, I think it'd be cool to add a higher performance powertrain to this, and then the Blazer. I've mentioned this in other videos. Like, this is fine, but I do think that there are some people that would appreciate just a little bit more power, a little bit more torque, and you could sell it as either like, again, a high performance version of the Traverse, or you could do like what Jeep's doing, where they have their 4xe plug-in hybrid, where it's an economical version of the Grand Cherokee, but then it also has better performance. So yeah, that's all. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this Chevy Traverse. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Chevy here in Murray for giving me some time with this Traverse. Check out the info in the description down below. I'll see you.